There was a time when Earth produced fruits no human has ever seen, let alone tasted. Entire forests once carried flavors that no tongue has recorded, textures that no memory can recall, and nutrients that shaped ecosystems long before our species existed. These fruits ripened under alien skies, fell into worlds ruled by giant reptiles, and vanished without ever being experienced by human senses. What remains today are fragments, fossils, impressions in stone, and the careful reconstructions of scientists trying to understand what was lost. To imagine these ancient fruits, it helps to begin far before fruit itself existed. The earliest plants, emerging over 470 million years ago during the Ordovician period, did not produce flowers or seeds. They were simple, low-growing organisms, closer to mosses and liverworts than anything resembling a tree. These early plants reproduced using spores, releasing microscopic particles into the air, dependent on moisture to survive and spread. Fruits, as we understand them, are closely tied to flowering plants or angiosperms, which would not appear until much later in Earth's history. For hundreds of millions of years, the planet was dominated by non-flowering vegetation. Towering lycophytes, giant horsetails, and vast fern forests stretched across humid landscapes during the Carboniferous period, around 300 million years ago. These plants created dense, swampy ecosystems, contributing to the formation of coal deposits that humans would one day rely on. Yet even in these ancient forests, there were no fruits. Reproduction still relied on spores or exposed seeds, often carried by wind or water, rather than enclosed in protective structures. The first true seeds marked a major turning point. Seed plants, known as gymnosperms, began to appear around 360 million years ago. These plants, including early relatives of conifers and cycads, produced seeds but not fruits. Their seeds were often exposed, sometimes protected by cones, but they lacked the fleshy coverings that define fruit today. Still, this innovation allowed plants to colonize drier environments, spreading across continents as climates shifted. The story of fruit begins with angiosperms, flowering plants that emerged during the early Cretaceous period, roughly 130 million years ago. Their arrival transformed ecosystems in ways that scientists are still working to fully understand. Unlike gymnosperms, angiosperms developed flowers to attract pollinators and fruits to protect and disperse their seeds. This evolutionary leap allowed for more complex relationships between plants and animals, as fruits became a source of nutrition in exchange for seed dispersal. Some of the earliest fruits were likely small, simple, and not particularly sweet by modern standards. Fossil evidence suggests that early angiosperms produced structures resembling berries or capsules, designed to encase seeds and encourage animals to carry them away. Over time, these fruits diversified dramatically, adapting to different climates, pollinators, and dispersal strategies. One of the most fascinating extinct fruits comes from a plant known as Archaea fructus, discovered in fossil beds in northeastern China. Dating back around 125 million years, Archaea fructus is considered one of the earliest known flowering plants. Its structure was unlike modern flowers, lacking petals and sepals, but it produced elongated fruiting bodies containing seeds. These early fruits were likely not edible in the way modern fruits are, but they represent a crucial step in the evolution of plant reproduction. As angiosperms spread, they began to dominate landscapes that were once controlled by older plant groups. During the late Cretaceous period, around 100 to 66 million years ago, flowering plants diversified rapidly. Fossils from this time reveal a wide variety of fruit types, including early forms of magnolias, laurels, and even primitive relatives of grapes and figs. These fruits were part of ecosystems shared with dinosaurs, and there is evidence suggesting that large herbivores may have played a role in spreading seeds. Some researchers believe that certain ancient fruits evolved specifically to attract large animals. Thick-skinned fruits with large seeds may have been adapted for consumption by dinosaurs, which could swallow them whole and deposit the seeds far from the parent plant. This hypothesis remains a topic of ongoing research, as direct evidence is limited, but it offers a glimpse into the complex interactions that may have shaped early fruit evolution. Among the most intriguing extinct fruits are those from the Eocene epoch, around 56 to 34 million years ago. This was a time of warm global climates when tropical forests extended far beyond their current boundaries.
In rare cases,
fossils
entire
from regions that are now
fossilized,
temperate or
capturing their shape, surface texture, and even internal structures. These fossils provide valuable insights into the diversity of ancient plant life, revealing forms that are both familiar and strange. Some fossil fruits resemble modern berries or drupes, suggesting continuity in certain plant lineages. Others defy easy classification, combining features that do not match any living species. These unusual forms hint at evolutionary experiments, pathways that were explored and then abandoned. It is important to recognize that extinction is a natural part of Earth's history. Over geological timescales, the vast majority of species that have ever lived are no longer present. Plants are no exception. While we often focus on animal extinctions, the loss of plant species can be just as significant, reshaping ecosystems and altering the course of evolution. At the same time, extinction is not always a simple or immediate process. Some plant lineages persist for millions of years with relatively little change, while others diversify rapidly and then disappear. The factors that determine these outcomes are complex, involving interactions between climate, geology, biology, and chance. When considering fruits humanity will never taste again, it is also worth reflecting on how many may have existed without leaving any trace at all. The fossil record is incomplete, biased towards certain environments and preservation conditions. Soft tissues, including many fruits, do not fossilize easily. This means that entire categories of ancient fruits may have existed and vanished without ever being recorded. What we know is only a fraction of what once was. Even so, the evidence that does exist reveals a world of extraordinary diversity. Ancient fruits were not just precursors to modern ones, but part of a dynamic and ever-changing landscape of life. In the present day, fruits are a familiar part